Hey everyone, it's Chrissy and welcome back to Coffee Chat. Today I have with us Mark Murphy of Big Bob's Flooring Outlet. Hi,
Hi,
Mark.
Hi, Chrissy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. So listen, I have some questions for you, but first of all, let's start off with who are you? Where are you working and what do you do?
Well, like you said just a second ago, my name is Mark Murphy. I have been in the flooring business for 26 years now. I am currently employed and I'm an account manager with Big Bob's Flooring Outlet in Columbus, Ohio on the west side, 4666 West Broad Street. So easy to get to, so convenient. And that's where we try to make lives more beautiful. But I've been there for 16 years and I love what I do. Most of my business that I focus on primarily is realtor business. Um, However, there's always the retail side of that. So, of course, I am that lonely salesman that has to put in those terrible hours. But when it comes down to making a living and doing something that I love and making a way for my family, it's something that's very enjoyable to me and has bared many fruit. So I love it.
That is excellent. Hey, so you just said 26 years of experience and 16 at Big Bob's Flooring. So I'm going to say that certainly makes you an expert in flooring. So can we talk about flooring from both
Absolutely.
a realtor and a consumer aspect?
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about first from a realtor aspect. If a realtor out there is selling a home or an investor for that matter, maybe getting a home ready to flip or sell or rent, what are some of your suggestions to them in the best flooring aspects to consider in a home?
Well, I mean, that's all by opinion, by preference. I mean, so that can vary. However, if you're selling a home, and I think you can attest to this very well, it's always nice and it's always best to make things fresh, clean, new. Just I don't think there's anything more that a prospective home buyer could love more than walk into a property and see fresh new floor and where they feel like, man, if I buy this place, this is my home. It's nobody else's. It's mine. Everything is new and clean and that's the way we all like it, right? So that's one side of it. And of course, the retail side of it is a little bit different. It's a little more challenging because you're trying to always meet needs that aren't always expressed. So what I do and how I do business, I find that the direct approach, honesty up front, this product can do this product can't, so on down the line, so that people can make educated decisions. I feel like that's always the best approach. But of course, finding out what somebody really wants is always, it's kind of like well, I'm looking for the right words, but it's like you're on the hunt. The minute they hit your door, you're on the hunt. They're never really going to tell you. They say they like this or they say they like that, but the truth is always kind of somewhere in the middle, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if that really goes in line with what you asked me as a question, but
Yeah, well, in order to find out what your client, whether they're a consumer or a realtor investor, it's kind of like peeling an onion, getting through those layers to determine what is best for them. So, what are some of the questions that you would ask them to determine what flooring is right? So maybe they can be in that mindset when they come to you.
the number one color and the number one thing that every salesman, in my opinion, has to keep at the forefront in the flooring business is always color. It's always color. Doesn't really matter what they're buying. Color is most important. If it's carpet, if it's hard surface, it doesn't really matter. Color is my number one question. Or I have the tendency to always like to, if I'm dealing with the retail customer, then I always have the tendency to try to find out, what their project is, how many square feet we're dealing with, is there's a multitude of questions, and it's really kind of hard to bring one right to the surface, but there's a multitude of questions that I will collectively and tactically, hit them with, because
Right.
I'm just trying to draw information so that I can put them into where it's all about a comfort zone,
Right.
and
So you've mentioned color, and then we've got carpet and hard surfaces. So let's start with color. If somebody was going to paint walls, it's grays and beiges. Is it going to be along the same line in carpet, mostly the beiges, or what?
yes, absolutely correct. And it comes down to demographic too. I mean, demographic is a big player in my business, but when you're choosing carpet color, I would agree that grays, beiges, actually today, it's changed very drastically over the last 7 years. Everything before then was all brown. Then all of a sudden, gray comes onto the scene, and it just kind of like takes over and dominates. And now I've seen the slow transition back to the browns and the tans. Because they're always going to be relative. They're always gonna be in style, I guess.
Okay.
Browns are it's that color that is transcends. It's always going to be relative.
So
Gray,
it's not like that tan color, that beige color that I know we've used it, you and I, in
yes,
many of my listings, is not, somebody's not going to walk in the house and be like, "Ooh, like that's the mauve or the blue from the 80s."
no, you're exactly right. I mean, somebody sees that and they're like, "Whoa," but they see a tan, they say, "Oh, I've seen that before." And then, of course, it always matters if it's clean. But grays are still dominating today. Grays are still dominating. I'm just seeing the trend is moving more towards the idea that they want gray, but they don't want gray. They want those beiges and browns and tans blended through in some fashion or another. So, especially on the hard surface side, hard surface tends to be looked at as a much more permanent fixture of the home than carpet will be. Carpet is, regardless of quality that you buy, carpet will always have a lifespan. It's just one of those things, that comes along with a luxury item as the way carpet is viewed. So it's always going to have a lifespan. So if you do the job once, you're going to do it again. People do hard surface in their house. The idea becomes very different. And of course, that's also why when you're comparing hard carpet to hard surface, the pricing generally can be, generally is going to be anywhere from 25 to 30% higher than what you would pay for carpet. But the lifespan, of course, is completely different as well. And then, of course, you have to rely on the salesman to provide you with proper information for care, maintenance, and all of these other things so that you can get the desired need out of your product, whatever that might be that you choose.
So on the carpet, because I want to move into hard surfaces in a second, but in the carpet aspect, anything particular beyond the obvious of maintenance and, keeping stains cleaned up? What are some of the other things that we need to know as far as maintenance of carpet, and then the importance of when you're choosing carpet? Let's talk about the different grades and levels of that and padding.
Well, one thing with carpet that most people do not realize, and the number one thing that I've always found to be true, is maintenance that most people don't pay attention. They're very interested in the warranties when they buy a product, but at the end of the day, they don't know, or they're just not, I don't know if they're read enough, if they haven't read enough or know the facts though. But when you're maintaining warranties with carpet, you have to steam clean at least once every 18 months, and that's by a professional. Your home cleaners do not count.
Mhm.
So, and home cleaners, I mean, that's another conversation, but you have to steam clean at least once every 18 months. I always suggest that you do it by the calendar year. That way you don't forget. That way it's already set on your calendar. Um, and then, of course, vacuuming. You have to vacuum at least 1 to 3 times per week. And if you were to ever file claims on carpet, they will come out. They will do soil testings. They will check all of these things. A warranty has value, but from the minute you make purchase and it goes on your floor, it's your job to upkeep those. It's not the manufacturer's job to upkeep those things. And that's where I think a lot of the lines get blurred. Um, so your home cleaner, I want to talk about that for a moment.
Can I
Home
ask you
cleaners,
a question though on the warranty you just mentioned?
yeah,
Who
go ahead.
claims on a warranty? Like, what would be a reason to claim on a warranty for carpet?
Funny wear patterns. If a carpet is claimed to be stain resistant, most manufacturers will list items in the disclaimer and items in the claimer. So it most carpets, if you're buying upper end qualities, most carpets these days, the stain resistance that's built into these products these days is so high and so intense, they can pretty much resist anything. And they will list all food and beverage. If you can eat it, they guarantee it will clean out. They will also even list it's either going to be a pet urine warranty or it's going to be a full pet warranty. And there is differences. Obviously, urine is really never, as far as cleaning aspects, it will always clean out for the most part. However, the other things that come along with pets, like the dyes from their food, if they get sick and that gets into your carpet, those are generally things that don't want to come out. And, most carpets again today will offer you warranties that either feature pet urine or the full gamut. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it definitely did. So I'm sorry to distract. So you were going to go into home cleaners.
Yeah, the home cleaner. I really wanted to touch on this because that's, again, most people own one. A lot of people own one of those things these days. I own one myself. But they really should be used in a spot cleaning capacity. And the reasoning for that is I see a lot of people that use them and they go into full room cleanings. Well, when you're using one of those home cleaners, they're actually putting hot water to the carpet. They are not putting hot steam to the carpet like a professional's truck mounted unit would do. And all carpet is held together. It's all held together. This big ball of fuzz is held together with latex adhesive, and that's a water soluble product. So when you do full cleanings with these machines, not only is it water to the carpet, it's hot water. That hot water does have an effect, not just on the stain, but say on the latex adhesive. If it's cool water compared to hot water, that will break latex down quicker. So think about the whole idea. And these manufacturers that are selling these products, the home cleaners, that is, it's not to their benefit to list all of these things. In fact, it would be to their detriment. So you're never going to hear it from them, but you're hearing it from me. I am a flooring geek. I will tell you, home cleaners are bad if you use them in the wrong capacity. If you use them in the proper capacity, they're a great tool to have around the home.
Got it. So that mindset that somebody may have from one of those machines that the more water, the better, the more clean it's going to get is wrong.
That I would agree. Yes.
Okay.
More water is not good. That's bad.
Right. Absolutely. Good. Great call.
One other thing about that is when you're using these machines to remove stains, let's just focus on, when you purchased your carpet, you purchased a really nice stain resistant carpet, and you even went as far as to purchase a spill proof padding. So that generally means another 30 to 40 cents on the square foot if you're going to buy that upgraded padding that has a Teflon spill guard. So you spill something on the carpet, whether if it be wine or if it be soda or something along those lines, but let's just focus on sugar-based products. So you spill that, it's going to hit the carpet. The carpet will come clean, so you're not overly anxious to try to get things up like most people would be. You take your time. I'm not saying people don't do it immediately, but you take your time. I'm not running to grab paper towels and then running back to sop the liquid up. But anyways, it will perforate through. All carpet is perforated. It will perforate through. It will dry right there on top of that spill guard so that it never penetrates the pad. That's the whole purpose of it. So if you use a home cleaner to clean that up, sugar-based materials, when hot water hits them, they do not reactivate instantly. It takes them a few minutes. And as we are cleaning rooms, generally we run the cleaner across and put the water down, and then we're right back across it with the suction sucking it out. So you understand that stain is never fully being reactivated. So that machine can never fully pull it out of the carpet. Hot steam, on the other hand, hot steam will reactivate that stain right on contact. And then they're able to pull it all the way out. That's the purpose of having a spill guard pad. Spill guard pads do not repel stains. Spill guard pads will hold the stain on top so that when a professional cleaning is done, that stain can actually go away and stay away permanently. That is the number one reason why carpet is replaced, is because people have stains, they clean that carpet, it comes clean, but 2 weeks later that stain is back. That is always caused by padding. It's never caused by carpet. So
Interesting. So you would recommend the spill guard padding?
I view it, of course, look, I understand everybody today is budget conscious. Everybody. It doesn't matter what demographic you fall into. So when it means spending an extra 30 cents on the square foot, and you hear that 30 cents, it doesn't sound like a lot. But when you put that up against 1,000 square feet of carpet that you're going to have to buy, those numbers mount very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that everybody's conscious of that. And when I sell the upgraded padding, I tend to approach that. I try to find the best analogy to use. And I always kind of go to, you know what, when we buy a car, what's the first thing we do? We buy an insurance policy. When we buy a house, what's the first thing we do? We buy an insurance policy. Well, just so everybody knows, flooring will be the third largest purchase anybody will make in their life. It's their house, their car, their flooring.
Wow.
And it's an extensive price. So why would you not want to protect that? So I kind of view spill guard pad as an insurance policy. We all buy it with hopes that we never have to use it.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, and there's going to be, just so somebody knows, and they probably already do, but when they come to you, there will be different levels and grades of carpet as well as padding. So, but that's where your questioning with them comes into play, to choose the right one. Okay, so you determine based on the space whether they want a carpet or a solid surface or a hard surface. What are there any particular determining factors there? Besides preference, obviously. If they already know.
I mean, a lot of that's already, I don't know if I really understand the question, but I'm just going to say that most times coming in the store, most people will have, they're put off or off put by salesmen being too aggressive. And so, everybody kind of, even myself, when I go into the store, I really, I want to deal with a salesman when I want to, not when that salesman wants me to. So when I say that they're never too upfront with information, that's where that comes from. Okay. But most times coming in the door, most people already know what they're in the market for. It's just a matter of getting them to reveal that information. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Some people, I deal with a large plethora of personalities. It's something that I actually really pride myself on, that I have the ability to see people and understand, and possess an ability to use inflection and all these other things with your when you're speaking, to not get under people's skin. That's
right.
I'm just trying to allow them to know that I understand that they're in the market, and I just want to understand what their needs are so I can meet them.
And I'll tell you there, so I'll tell everyone watching that I'll attest to that, because Mark has helped several of my clients. A couple didn't buy, but several have. So definitely continue to go back to you for that exact reason. I guess my question on that was, some areas are more of a given. In a kitchen, they usually want a hard surface. In a family room or a bedroom, maybe they want a carpet. Who knows? So I didn't know if there was a determining factor there. But let's head over to hard surfaces real quick, because I know I I want to respect your time. It's busy and it's retail and you got to get out there. With hard surfaces, are there some thoughts that people should have in mind as far as the different options of wood, laminate, vinyl plank? What are some of the thoughts they should have before they come to you and do the research as far as what they might want?
That's a tough question to answer, because there's just so many. Everybody, I think, when you're really focusing on hard surface, I think for the most part, everybody, and I would say probably 90% of people that own a home want real hardwood. They want it, but they don't anticipate, or maybe they've been duped into believing pricing should be one thing, and when in reality it's something else. There are other companies out there that focus on just materials like that, hardwood, and when your business is so honed in and focused on one thing, obviously it changes the playing field as far as when they purchase and how they purchase and what they pay comparatively to what we focus on the full spectrum. We don't focus just on one thing. But yeah, so pricing on our end comparatively might change a little bit. And hardwood is never, if that's just one of those things that I feel like if you're paying anywhere between $6 a foot or more, generally that's all going to specify and dignify the idea that you're buying a first quality good. And that's something that you need to pay very close attention to when you're making purchases like this. But everybody wants hardwood. However, most people can't afford it. I know that I can't afford it. So then the aspect and the questioning then would turn to, well, okay, so what is a good substitute, because that doesn't fit your budget? And generally the consensus these days is going to come back to laminate, or it's going to come back to LVT, or there's LVP, EVP, SPC. There's a bunch of different stuff that's out there today. And if you're watching the TV and you're making your decisions based off of things that you see off the television or through media, you're going to be lulled into believing that it's very narrow as far as what there is to choose from out there, when in fact it's quite different. The spectrum is very broad, it's very wide. There's a lot of different things. They offer different pricing, they offer different wearability factors, just how it's going to hold up in your home. And again, questioning that I would present to the customer would give me some idea of which way I should try to steer them one way or the other. And I hate that word steer, because I don't really think that I steer people. However, I do understand that I'm opinionated. I'm human, and I'm opinionated about this, or this, and I'm going to try to always push them, I think. I guess that's probably the right word, is push them to something where I know it's going to get their result that they desire. I always say it, a customer is a great customer, and I never really want to hear back from that customer unless they want something more done in their home,
Right.
So
Well, with those hard surfaces, Mark, I think that, so yes, number one, a factor absolutely out of the gate is going to possibly be price. But beyond that, they might want the hardwood if they want to be able to resurface it and they want the extreme longevity. But isn't it important as well to look at how that's a little bit softer sometimes? And maybe a woman with a high heel could make an impression, and a laminate vinyl is great for cleanup. Is there some generalities there?
No, you're absolutely right in what you just said. I mean, oftentimes, again, with hardwood, it's a very soft product. It's a natural product, and that's what the draw is. Everybody wants it because it's a natural good, and nothing quite matches the feel of it, the look of it. I mean, there are close simulations, and you can get very close to it, but to hit right on the head with something that's not it is very hard to do. So I get the desire of why people want it. And there's a lot of nostalgia that comes with it too. I mean, I've heard it a million times where people will say, well, I want hardwood because that's what I grew up with. That was in my parents' home. It was, so on down the line. So I get it all. But yeah, that's what I think a lot of people don't realize is that hardwood, I always bring it back to the 30-pound dog test. If you got a 30-pound dog that is active and loves to run around and act crazy, I will tell you hardwood is probably something you might want to rethink. It doesn't matter what it might be either. It's species. I mean, there are hundreds of species of wood that are out there. They all carry different density ratings, but even the hardest hardwood out there, which is about a 5,000 rating on the Jenka scale, is still put a 50, 60-pound dog on top of that, let it run around and act crazy, and they will scratch the floor. It's just so I always try, when people list to me, hey, I want something that's durable, even if they started off on that hardwood, road, I'm probably going to try to steer them over towards a wood laminate. Wood laminate is very easily, it has a lot of negative connotations that are attached to that word laminate. There's a lot of negative connotations, and it's because laminate has been around in the United States since 1980. It's been relevant for much, much longer than that. It's been relevant over in Europe for over 100 years. It's a proven material. It's a proven good, but very, very often misunderstood. Misunderstood how to live on, misunderstood how to maintain. And maintain is the number one reason, and I'll get into that in a second. But if you want something that's going to offer you a very, very high durability rating, but say you don't want the aspect of going into putting a porcelain tile down in your home, because you can buy porcelain tile today that will simulate wood as well. And quite honestly, porcelain tile in a house, that's probably the most durable floor you could ever install in your home. I mean, so, and it always comes back to how dense a product is. It's going to dictate durability, how it's going to wear. And laminate, again, not very well known, but laminate is the second hardest surface you can ever install in your home. Stone tile would be number one, laminate number two. Generally, laminate will have density ratings or weight ratings of 2,500 pounds per square inch or more. So, yes, it's very, very durable. But again, like I was going to say a second ago, maintenance of it and why these floors fail. If you have a flood, honestly, yes, laminate's not going to be able to withstand that. But if you have a flood and you have a basement underneath, not laminate, not hardwood, not even porcelain tile can withstand a flood. They all would have to come out. Now, granted, let's just say somebody was focusing on their basement, then it's a different story. You're talking about now you could put a stone tile on, you could secure a stone tile to a basement floor, you could have a flood where your sump pump goes out, and you could save that floor. But that is the only floor that I know of that can withstand a flood, is stone tile right on top of a concrete floor that's in your basement or a concrete slab or whatever that might be. Any other type of surface, any other flooring that you could put down outside of that would fail. That includes hardwood, laminate, vinyl, even vinyl. And again, this is largely misunderstood. Vinyl products, vinyl planking that market themselves as completely impervious and waterproof, they're still a floating good. So if you install them on the floor, yeah, you can spill stuff all over them. And yes, it's going to be very easy to maintain because you can mop them. You can just throw water and into a bucket and just start going to town, and they'll withstand those things. But if you again have a flood and water gets under the floor, it doesn't matter that they're completely impervious. The floor still has to come up because you have to be able to get the substrate completely dried so we don't deal with mold issues and things like that. So, I mean, there's, again, it's
I
I'm
see the
sorry if I'm all over the
I
place.
love it. No, but you know what, Mark? And this is why I wanted to hear. This is why I wanted to chat with you because you have the passion, you have the knowledge and the expertise, and that's what everybody needs. This isn't what we all do every day. So that's why we're coming to you. So I do want to remind everyone it's been rolling across the bottom of the screen. We do have Mark's number. So 614-886-5312. He gave me the go ahead. That is his cell phone number. So feel free to reach out to him, ask him your flooring questions, make an appointment. Is that what would be good for you, Mark? Can they make an
Yes,
appointment to see you?
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so schedule an appointment to head out there and see him. And as he mentioned, it's an easy access. It is literally like right off of the interstate on Broad Street. So you can hop off, go see Mark, and then hop right back on and go about your day. But once they've chosen the flooring with you, Mark, how far out, and I'm sure it varies by product, but how far out are you scheduling installation
Well,
approximately?
that's where now I get to plug. Now I get to plug the company that I work for because again, I've worked for them for 16 years, um, and I have to honestly say, I love who I work for. I love who own. We are Big Bob's Flooring Outlet is a national franchise. They are all over the country. They're even in Alaska and Hawaii. Believe it or not, yes, there are Big Bob's there too. Um, but it is a national franchise. We own 5 of the affiliates. We also we are owned by KW Flooring out of Cincinnati, Ohio. That's our parent company. They own 5 Big Bob's affiliates. They also own 8 Carpet Ones, and 10 years ago or so, we purchased Buddies and we've rebranded them, and we have about 6 of those locations also. Buddies Flooring America, but under the KW heading, we are the 11th largest retailer in the country.
Wow.
So granted, it might not look that way from the outside, but what that does for Big Bob's, being under that umbrella, it gives us immense buying power. I mean, we're right up there. We can buy just as strong as Lowe's or Home Depot or any of those box stores, but we're going to be able to provide you with a level of service that you're never going to ascertain at either of those affiliates at a Home Depot or a Lowe's. Uh, the guys that I work with, as I said, I've been there for 16 years. Even today, I'm still the new guy. After 16 years, I'm still the new guy. It's really kind of disheartening at times, but that's the running joke.
That says a lot.
I've got a guy that I work with, one of my coworkers. He's been with the company for 28 years. Our manager has been with the company for 22 years. Even our warehouse guy has been with the company longer than me. He's been here for 16 years. So, it just says something about who employs us because they really do take care of their employees. And I think that's to be appreciated. But why Big Bob's and why being under that umbrella helps Big Bob's is it allows us to have all of this inventory because that's what we do differently. We pre-purchase inventory and we buy in bulk. So we do get we get that break from the mills and we do pass it on to the consumer. And we're not just purchasing low end goods. I have entry level goods. I also have top of the line goods. Just as for carpet, we have carpeting in stock that will vary between $1.90 per square foot installed to as high as $4.30 a square foot installed. And the levels all change through those price points. Obviously, we have low grade, medium grade, top grade. That's also true of boxed laminate, roll good linoleum. But these materials, you can actually come in today. You can see and feel and touch them today, and they can be on your floor tomorrow. And the reason we can do that, obviously, is because we possess the inventory already. That allows us to move and expedite things along quickly. Generally, our turnaround time is about 10 days. However, given with the current crisis and COVID and all of that, and we've just reopened the store back on the 12th. Where I have to admit, we had a lot of backlogged work. before the closure. So we had to get those customers taken care of course. They all wait. And that's another great thing I have to say. I have to give a shout out to those people, is that they were so patient, so understanding with us. I really do feel like, because the way we approach our customers, we have some of the greatest customers out there. I mean, and it's all about making things, putting it right out on the plate and making everybody aware of A, B, C, and D. This is how it's going to go, and not pulling any punches either, and saying, we have to look out for this could come up or this could come up. But that all comes with experience and being in the game for as long as we have. And, but yeah, you can come in today, you can see, feel, and touch the things that are going to be on your floor tomorrow. And that gives reverence to people. They love that idea. And as our slogan would say, here at Big Bob's, for quality you'll want to keep, because we're so freaking cheap.
I love it. Great way for us to end that. That's wonderful. I'll attest to what you said. I have had you installing in some of my listings in under a week, and some of them, if it's not as imperative, it's scheduled out about 10 days. So you're very accommodating, and I thank you for that, as well as your knowledge and being cheap. Gotta say it.
For quality you want to keep, because Big Bob's is so freaking cheap.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Mark, thank you so much. Thanks for being with us today. And we'll be chatting. You're doing another one of my listings this week. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Chrissy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody out there, give Mark a call, check him out, make an appointment. And
hey, by the way, I'm text friendly. You don't have to call. If you just want to shoot me a text, that is my cell number. Feel free. I'm always available, and I'm glad to answer questions. But just keep in mind, I got to go to bed. My bedtime's 11. Okay.
And got it. All right. Everybody got to send him a text or whatever works best for you. In the meantime, if you have any questions on real estate in Central Ohio, Homes by Chrissy, 614-332-0342. Give me a call or text for that matter. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow. I'm your realtor. Let's go. Bye, everyone.
Bye.